Well, we're going to get going on a new supplement. We're highlighting supplements, about 1 to 3 supplements a month. And many of these have been covered by Courtney in some of her continuing education that are some of the written posts, but I know some people prefer to watch video and some people prefer to read. And so I thought we'd just dive right in with some of the fundamental alphabet vitamins that have super in the front. So we're going to do super B, super C, and super vitamin D today as part of our supplement spotlight, where we'll highlight some of the importance and value of these different supplements, and that way that you can make the best decision for you and for your health goals and for your wellness needs, for what supplements might be good for you to pursue by adding them to your essential rewards list, or to swap out. Maybe you were taking a B supplement from something else or a C supplement from somewhere else. Maybe Young Living, what they're going to offer you in their supplement would be something you'd want to try out. So I'm going to jump right into Super B, Super C, and Super Vitamin D. And of course, because it makes sense in my brain to do it this way, we will be doing this in alphabetical order. So we're going to just start off with Super B. So Super B, Super C, and then Super Vitamin D. Super B, this is one of my favorite Young Living supplements. I find it to be super cost effective and super efficacious. So B vitamins are essential to our health and well-being. Each B vitamin performs a unique and separate function. So that's why you want to look at something like what Young Living offers, which is a B complex vitamin. So that's where that necessity comes from. B vitamins must be replenished daily because they're water soluble and they're not able to be stored in the body. So it's difficult to gain all the B vitamins we need from our food, even in the best case scenario. So that's why supplementing is a really good idea. This is also a great addition to your routine if you're currently expecting or are wanting to grow your family in the near future. And we'll kind of talk about what some of the contents that would make that the truth. Benefits of Super B include helping support normal cardiovascular and cognitive health, improving mood, helping to sustain healthy energy levels. Super B contains all 8 essential energy boosting B vitamins, so it's a complete B complex in that sense. It also contains nutmeg essential oil and bioavailable chelated minerals such as magnesium, manganese, selenium, and zinc, and contains organ FA, which is a natural folate source that's derived from lemon peels, and contains methylcobalamin, which is a more bioavailable source of B12 than you might find in something just in your big box store or something like that. One thing that's worth noting is that many commonly used medicines can, whether that's over the counter or prescription medicines, can wreak havoc on the body's B vitamin levels. So some of the ones that are included in that list of vitamins that are things that can have an effect on your B vitamin levels are hormonal birth controls of all types, acid suppressing drugs such as Prilosec or Zantac, diabetes medications like metformin, and even some antibiotics like monocycline or some others that are commonly used. So while these conventional medications are a tool in a toolbox of how we approach our health, having an awareness of their side effects allows us to better support our bodies and take measures to prevent more complex effects as needed whenever possible. So again, that's where Young Living's B vitamins kind of swoops in with all 8 of our essential energy boosting B vitamins, with nutmeg essential oil, which you should look that oil up too, because that's a really great. We talked about that in our hormone class. So check that out. And then it's got some bioavailable minerals and folate. So our bodies struggle to absorb and utilize folic acid, which that's where we talked about if you're expecting or you're wanting to add to your family, having a bioavailable source of folic acid is really important for the early development, especially of the baby. So we need it in the form of folate for adequate absorption, and many individuals require a methylated version, which is why Origin FA is a great addition to this supplement. So each of the super Bs and how they support our system, there's thiamine, which is vitamin B1, essential for energy production, carbohydrate metabolism, and nerve function on the cellular level. Riboflavin, which is vitamin B2. Riboflavin assists with cellular energy, helps regenerate the liver, and supports normal cellular health. Niacin, which is vitamin B3. Niacin is important for the metabolism of carbohydrates into an energy source, and it can help support healthy cholesterol levels and blood sugar levels. It was worth, one of the things that I read up on and was mentioned was that niacin can sometimes cause a phenomenon known as the niacin flush, which is can be a normal reaction where the hands or face or elbows may turn red and feel warm to the touch, but it goes away on its own. It just kind of causes that flushed reaction. So if that's you, like, you're not weird, that's a thing. There's also vitamin B6, which supports the cardiovascular system, specifically the blood vessels, with that origin FA that we talked about, with that natural folate source derived from lemon peels. And interestingly, folate is essential for vitamins B6 and B12 to be assimilated into the body. So folate is superior to folic acid, as the body cannot easily convert folic acid into folate. So that's where this is much more beneficial to help not only with that folic acid need or that folate need, but also to help the better absorption of B6 and B12. There's also vitamin B12, which is essential for red blood cell production, immune function, nervous system function, all of that. And it works together with vitamin B6 to support the cardiovascular system. So the specific kind that Young Living uses is a more bioavailable source of B12, so our bodies absorb it more readily. It also has biotin B7, which is biotin vitamin is B7. It helps convert fat and amino acids into energy support. And it also helps support healthy hair and nail growth, and can combat overgrowth of yeast or fungus that you might not want. So B7 is a really great thing for us. Pantothenic acid, which is vitamin B5, which assists with the secretion of hormones and supports the adrenal glands. It has magnesium in it, as magnesium oxide, essential for proper function of enzymes, muscle contractions, heart rhythm, cardiovascular support, all those things, and even maintaining healthy insulin levels. It's got some zinc in it, zinc gluconate. Zinc is necessary for immune support, cell regeneration, and the proper function of hormones, such as insulin, growth hormones, all those kinds of things. I think we've all kind of had a master course in some of these critical minerals and vitamins in the last few years, as we've all walked through a pandemic. So it's great to know that these supplements already have these things right here at the ready. Has selenium, as selenium yeast, which supports the immune system, has a trace element that helps prevent cell damage. And then it has PABA, which is it's a PABA, which stands for para-amino-benzoic acid. It works with good bacteria of the gut to produce folic acid. It helps to produce red blood cells, and it acts as an antioxidant to protect the body from free radical damage, which we all know any antioxidant, that's what its job is to kind of bond with those free radicals that just our environment and the food we eat and the things that when those free radicals are created, that's what an antioxidant is. So interesting. So that's kind of like what you get when you, that's the contents of your super B, the complex. But here's a little side note on B vitamins and emotional health. Vitamin deficiencies such as zinc, included in this B vitamins and vitamin D, which we'll talk about later, among others, are gaining the spotlight when it comes to emotional health. B vitamins are essential for brain function and energy level. Vitamin B12 and folate are both needed to produce norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. Those play, of course, important roles in regulating a normal and healthy central nervous system. Low folate and low vitamin B12 levels have been associated with depression, although, the causation versus, correlation is, it's still a little bit unclear, but it is worth noting. sometimes people who take especially a B vitamin complex, one that's well rounded, like what we're talking about here, they can really see an improvement in when they were feeling off or just slightly low or down or anxious or sad. And maybe there's a deficiency there in a vitamin or a mineral. And so vitamin B this super B, a B complex, could really help with that. So I guess the best way to think about it, who should use the super B? Anyone under stress, because stress depletes our B vitamins in our body. Anyone who battles, overgrowths of different, how do I say this, FDA approved, who deals with overgrowths of things they don't want. Anyone who's struggling with energy levels, anyone struggling mentally and emotionally, or even anxiousness, exhaustion, dark thoughts and feelings, maybe you need a B vitamin in your life. If you struggle with anemia, or you're pregnant, or if you don't eat a strong whole food diet, and really all adults, unless otherwise contraindicated. So the way that the Super B is take 2 tablets, one with a meal, ideally either your first meal of the day, or you can take it 1 tablet with your first meal and 1 tablet with your second meal, like your midday meal or whatever. I take, my first big meal is at lunch. So I take both of my Super Bs then, and I find it really helps, kind of carry me in that mid-afternoon slump. I can tell when I've taken the Super B and when I haven't. So like I said, this is one of my favorite supplements. It's a good bang for the buck. Definitely get this one in your loyalty rewards. It's in mine every month, because it's just a really great supplement and it does such a great job. Super C. We all know about vitamin C, right? It's almost synonymous with immune support and just overall health. That's really what Super C is the kind of the bread and butter. And Young Living Super C, or the Super C chewable, don't disappoint. The Super C contains 2,166% of the recommended dietary intake of vitamin C per serving, and is fortified with rutin, citrus bioflavonoids, and minerals to balance out electrolytes and enhance the effectiveness and absorption of vitamin C. You might be thinking, well, 2,166, that seems like maybe excessive. But again, some of the recommended daily allowances, obviously, those can be on the lower end of what maybe would be beneficial. Also worth noting that any vitamin C is, again, also water soluble. So there's not like, you can't overdose on vitamin C. You can take vitamin C to bowel tolerance. That's when you would know you've reached your body's capacity to deal with the vitamin C, as your bowels would let you know. 2,166, no big deal. This is a much better option than the sugary packets that you might find in a health food store. And it's just really great for immune support. It has both innate and adaptive immune system supports, and it prevents, bad things from entering into cells. And it also, vitamin C is a huge antioxidant. So again, it's going to go free radical scavenge and try and help your body just work at its maximum capacity. So again, it's saturable. So there's a limited amount that you can absorb at one time. So if you were going to take more than 1 dose of this or whatever, then you probably want to take it throughout the day. Like when I'm in an acute situation, when I know my body's fighting something, I'll just make sure I take a vitamin C with every meal, and maybe 1 before I go to bed, just to make sure that I'm really like attacking it. But you kind of keeping that level steady throughout the day would be your ideal scenario. So the benefits of Super C, again, immune support, respiratory support, just overall wellness. Again, antioxidants that can help, of course, with vitality and longevity. That's the whole point of antioxidants. Supports eye health and vision, promotes the formation of collagen. It's infused, Super C is infused with citrus essential oils. Those are high in D-limonene, which is a powerful antioxidant as well. You can just look up the benefits of D-limonene. Vitamin C is essential for bone, ligament, tendon, and blood vessel support and health. And vitamin C aids with iron absorption. So you could add it to a protein-rich meal or an iron supplement to kind of help boost and help aid iron absorption. The Super C tablets contain orange, tangerine, grapefruit, lemon, and lemongrass essential oils. And so those, of course, also work in effect with the vitamin C to help with normal immune support, circulation support, all of those kinds of connective tissue support, overall health. So it's a great, it is one of the most important, in addition to it being an antioxidant, in addition to it to being an immune support, it's also a vitamin that's required by our body. It's essential for growth and repair of tissues in all parts of the body. And it's necessary to form collagen, which is an important protein used for scar tissue, tendons, ligaments, blood vessels, all of those things. It's essential for healing wounds and the repair and maintenance of cartilage, bones, and teeth. Super C tablets include, like I said, those essential oils, citrus bioflavonoids. So those help maximize the benefit of vitamin C, and, helps also prevent oxidative stress and those kinds of things. It also has cayenne powder, which cayenne is known to aid in digestion and do other good things. And then rutin powder. The Super C chewable tablets include vitamin C from whole food plant sources, from some cherry powder, the camu camu fruit powder, rosehip fruit powder, orange essential oil, and citrus bioflavonoids. So there's like a little bit of a difference between the Super C and the tablets and the Super C chewables. The difference, the Super C tablet provides 1,300 milligrams of vitamin C as ascorbic acid in one serving. One serving is 2 tablets. It contains calcium, zinc, and manganese, as well as citrus bioflavonoids, rutin, flower, bud powder, cayenne fruit powder, and orange, tangerine, grapefruit, lemon, and lemongrass essential oils. The Super C chewable tablet provides 150 milligrams of plant-based vitamin C in one serving, which is 1 tablet. The vitamin C in those tablets is from the Areola cherry powder, the camu camu fruit powder, and the rosehip powder, the rosehip fruit powder. Super C chewable tablets also contain organic stevia, citrus bioflavonoids, and orange essential oil. So who would want them? Who should use these Super C in either one of those formats? Anyone wanting to bolster their immune system, which that's everybody, right? Like, do you know somebody who doesn't want to support their immune system? Those needing support for bones, joints, or other acute issues in their bones and joints. Those with acute infections. So higher doses are going to be needed if you're finding yourself in an acute situation. This is just what Super C is, or what a C vitamin is about anyways. Anyone wanting antioxidant support, again, we're living in this world with free radicals coming from everywhere. And those entering increased circumstances of like exposure to different viruses or bacterias or things like that. If you're wanting to support, knowing that you're around people, you've been exposed to people, then, adding a vitamin C into or adding even a higher dose of vitamin C might be something you want to consider. If you're a daycare worker, or you're a teacher, or you're a nurse or doctor or surgeon, any of the people who have the chance that they're going to be encountering germ carriers and or flight attendants, I can think of so many professions that are just having more exposure to people who might get you sick. Vitamin Super C would be a good thing to have on hand, and a good thing to maybe even supplement in a higher dose than just the regular expected one. To use Super C for reinforcing immune strength, you want to take up to 3 tablets daily, making sure to separate the doses by a few hours, maybe just like one with a meal if you're just really trying to reinforce your immune support. For just daily maintenance or others, you might just take 1 tablet once or twice daily. And it works best when taken before meals. If you're going to use a Super C chewable, you can take 1 chewable tablet 3 times daily or as needed. And you can, take additional daily doses as you might need it based on like your exposure to things. Super C chewable tablets are really great for little ones, So those are great for staying healthy year round when defenses go down or when you're traveling. So they're great to have on a plane or when you just know you're going to be around extra germs. So that is super C. And last, but certainly not least, is super vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the supplements, gets a lot of hype. I mean, like this is the thing that gets talked about all the time, and it's for good reason. It's estimated that somewhere between 40 and 70% of the United States population is deficient in vitamin D. And this is a powerhouse when it comes to our health, with like our immune system, our respiratory system, our bone health, our joint health, our emotions, our autoimmune needs. They're all supported when we have good, healthy vitamin D levels. So it's important for healthy bones and preventing, long-term bone issues, especially as you age. It's great for regulating the absorption of calcium and phosphorus, which are both essential for health. It's great for facilitating normal immune function. It's great for regulating mood and emotions, and reducing seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depressive issues, and reducing the risk of just overall unwellness. There was a vitamin D council was established. It's a scientist-led group that's promoting vitamin D deficiency awareness. And they suggest that this is a quote from WebMD. They suggest that vitamin D treatment might be found helpful in treating or preventing autoimmune issues, chronic pain, depression, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, flu, and osteoporosis. Now, that is a vitamin D council, scientist-led group telling you that when you're deficient in vitamin D, you run a risk of these things. So, or at least you might be more susceptible to these types of things. So, honestly, vitamin D is one of those things that it's best looked at in your blood testing, to do this with a doctor and make sure, it's something that can be tested in your blood work, and, having adequate levels of it is important. There are differing beliefs of how much is considered sufficient. And there's just multiple factors that you need to assess or think about when you're factoring how much vitamin D you personally or each individual might need. A generally recognized dosage for otherwise healthy individuals would be 1,000 IU to 4,000 IU, which is 25 to 100 micrograms daily. But this dose, that should be enough to ensure optimal levels in most people, but some people who are deficient or might need other support, they may need a dose of 5,000 IU daily to reach optimum levels. And so again, this is something that you want to check out with your doctor. You want to test those blood levels. You want to be consistently taking it and see where your levels fall, and see if your physician is comfortable with where you find yourself. But it's a really critical thing to have going well for you. It affects so many different things. Young Living specifically it contains vitamin D3, which is derived from lichen that's sustainably grown and harvested in the United States. It plays a key role in respiratory health. It has adaptive defense mechanisms to support your immune system. It helps support mood and hormone regulation. It supports bone growth and healthy muscle, supports calcium balance and bone growth, and is infused with lemon balm, which is Melissa essential oil, which is like a favorite essential oil. It's like a powerhouse essential oil. It's highly absorbable, vegan friendly, and it's a little tablet made with a lemon balm extract and lime. And the Melissa Premium Essential Oil. That's just a really great addition, because it helps with the bioavailability of the vitamin D, and it kind of helps support the overall absorption rate. This vitamin D, supplied as D3, is an important designation because the active metabolite is responsible for all the wonderful health benefits of vitamin D. Vitamin D3 is a fat soluble vitamin that's required for mood and hormone regulation, healthy bones, teeth, immune function, and reproduction. So this is fat soluble. The vitamin C and B, they're water soluble. Fat soluble means your body you can get too much vitamin D. Now, most Americans, that's not an issue, but that's why it's important to kind of make sure you're taking checking in with your doctor, checking levels based on how much, you need based on your specific concerns. Regarding healthy bones, calcium is a nutrient you might think of first, right? That's what let's go back to grade school biology or grade school when you're first learning about bones and the skeletal system. Calcium is what comes to mind, right? But vitamin D is just as important for keeping bones strong and preventing the bone disease that comes with age. Vitamin D helps your intestines absorb calcium from the food that you eat. So getting enough of both nutrients is an important part of ensuring that your bones are dense and strong. We talked about, when we were talking about vitamin B, the effect of emotions. Vitamin D is no stranger to that as well. Healthy vitamin D levels are crucial for emotional health. So having adequate levels of D allows your brain to perform executive functions such as reasoning, attention, critical thinking, flexibility. It's also helpful for women who suffer PMS cramping and fatigue and those kinds of things. So making sure those D levels are up where they need to be is critical for those things as well. It also, healthy vitamin D levels puts you at a lower risk of seasonal blues, and it can even improve your memory. So interestingly, we have naturally higher vitamin D levels from sun exposure during the warmer months because people are outside. And of course, when we're outside, we're getting exposed to the vitamin D that we can get from the sun, but often we're also applying sunscreen. There was a really good thread on this recently within the last few weeks in Essential Ed. So go check out some of the comments there. Since we always, also, I think with the outsideness, and there's a lot of things you could talk about how being outside makes you happier and it has better mood for everyone, but most people are happier and more at ease during the time when they're spending more time outdoors. And since we can't always be out in the sun, and since we need higher vitamin D levels than previously thought, supplementation is kind of going to be a key way of getting that. So again, check with your doctor, get these tests measured, make sure you're not one of the 40 to 70% of Americans who somehow falls into this threshold of being vitamin D deficient. So who should use vitamin D? Individuals with a risk of or known concern of osteoporosis, individuals needing emotional support, anyone suffering from seasonal blues or seasonal affect disorder, any of those kinds of things. Vitamin D, want to make sure D and Super B are included in your life. Anyone wanting to bolster their immune system, anyone who's known with a vitamin D deficiency, right? Like that makes obvious sense. And those looking just for overall health and vitality. So I hope that I know that there are a lot of really great options for Young Living supplements. These are some key things. Vitamin B, C, and D are vitamins I take every day. And so I'd encourage you to kind of do some investigating, see where you might benefit from these great supplements, and then start adding them to your loyalty rewards order so that you know that you get them each month. And then just figure out a way to be consistent about taking them and see if you can notice some of these differences in your mood or your overall immune support or your overall health. Remember when you took them and why you took them, and see if you can even notice a difference. So I hope the super vitamins it's been helpful and beneficial for you to learn just a little bit more about them. We'll be back next week. I'll be back to talk with you about gift giving for him. We'll go over some gift ideas, and it'll give you ample time to get those things squared away, ordered, lined up, and DIY'd in time for Father's Day for all the men in your life, whether that be your own husband, your own dad, a brother, a son, any of those things. But nothing like oils to say how much you love somebody, right? Especially those guys. It takes them a little bit longer. So we'll be back in a week, and I hope to see you then.